good evening, everybody. We are live for Testimony Tuesday, and my name is Tadja Morris, and I am the founder, assisted with the agenda, and your host tonight. Testimony Tuesday is our space where we come together to talk about where we're at with tackling life today. And I'm super excited because our guest tonight, Miss T. Christine, the Empowerment Queen, will be gracing the stage with me and Sam Knight of Breakthrough Wellness in Minneapolis. So I'm super excited to be bringing you all her testimony as we talk about her journey in Philadelphia to the young lady on the block to now the woman of empowerment. So I'm super excited. So tap a friend and tell them to come join the conversation. For all of you that are joining, tomorrow is We See You Wednesday live spotlight, and we will be live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we will be spotlighting one of my sisters, Tawanda. She has a powerful testimony. So We See You Wednesday is our day where we come together to celebrate our personal and professional development. And then Thursday, Tips and Tools, we will be live again with one of our good sis from our personal development platform, and she will be talking about complex trauma. So I'm super excited for the lineup this week. And then Friday, we will be taking flight to Minneapolis. So I'm super excited. So Miss T, if you can send in a request and we can get the conversation started. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Tap a friend in. Tell them to come join the conversation as we will be tapping into her personal and professional level up here. So I'm super excited. Miss Christine, if you could, we'll get started. So I had the pleasure of working with Miss Christine several times with the Unstuck series and other ways in the community. Good evening, sis. Can you hear
Good
me?
evening.
Can you hear
Yes,
me? Can you see me?
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Good evening. Good evening. So introduce yourself. Let them know who you are and all the wonderful things you
Yes,
got going on.
yes. So, hey, everybody. My name is Miss T. Christine. I am the Empowerment Queen, and I have an empowerment brand that I started, a female empowerment brand that I started in 2021. But way before my brand was really my life. Way before then. I was my brand way before I made it a brand. I made it a thing. I've always been ambitious, supportive, super supportive, and I really have a pure and genuine love for people, but especially my own people, especially Black women in general, and women of color. Um, because I see with my career and me being a psychologist and so many things, I see how a lot of times we're not given the tools. No one teaches us a lot of times, how to maneuver through being a woman first and then wearing all the other hats we wear. And we give so much of ourselves to everybody else. Whatever we do have, we give it away. And then we don't have enough for us. And we're looking around or we're dealing in silence, like my sister talks about all the time. Um, and we look up and we're so empty. We go home, we cry at night, nobody knows about it. So many things. So for me, that's what my brand is about: is to create spaces, curate spaces, and also to support women with the tools that they need to be the best woman they can be, with no apologies. Be the best woman they can be. Um, go after their dreams, but most importantly, having those inner tools that they need, that mindset that they need to go after that, and then having the network that they need and the support that they need as well, and the tools to go after those things as well. Because you have to really have the mindset to build community. You have to have the mindset to build a network. You have to have the mindset to stay in the game. In which you really do have to have vision.
Yeah.
And my life is an example of vision. Me having vision, and not really moving. My actions are not based off of my eyesight, but my vision.
Yeah.
And there's the difference. Being vision led is different from being led by your eyes, what you see. Because people didn't see it for me. That's why a lot of times I say, my brand was created for the girls who were counted out, who feel counted out. Because people always overlooked me, always counted me out. Didn't think I would be much of anything or amount to anything, or just be another regular girl. Ain't nothing regular about me.
I
I'm,
know
I'm,
that's right.
I'm big purpose, and I have big gifts, and I walk in it. And I like to teach a lot of women to be that way. You don't have to be humble about the gifts that God gave you. That's number one, because that's totally different. It's called confidence, not more so confidence in what you're doing. Because I always say it's also not all me. It's not me. This is my gift, and really me doing this, me T Christine, is my obedience to the God I serve. Because if not, I'll be curled up somewhere minding my business, drinking water. Because I don't, I really would. I really would be minding my business. But I have a calling to do a thing. I pour into people. It's something that I do. And I do that strategically, and I do it well. And I want to teach other women just to be their absolute best selves. And if they need the tools to do it, I walk them through that, which is why I have so much other stuff coming down the pipeline for this brand that can really is going to be more personal to them. And they'll be able to tap into some personal coaching from me, because I do psychology, but I want to kind of make things more personal to the women who are in my network and women who have tapped into the Miss T Christine brand, and not so much me as the therapist. So that's just a little bit about me.
Yes,
Because I can't think
that's
too much.
just a little bit about you, because you do
Yes.
serve in so many other ways in the community, and that's how we were able to connect. So can you talk about some of the other ways you serve the community? Because I think that's a big part of who you are as
Yes.
well.
Yes, it is. I'm big on the heart of service and youth. Oh my God, our youth. Anything with them, I'm showing up. Well, I don't care what the situation, how much it costs, whatever they need. I always stand in the gap. I've been a big part of being a part of the village that raises a child. I believe in the village that raises a child. And I'm honored and grateful for the people who have trusted me with their babies, who are my babies forever,
Yeah.
because that matters. They are us. And I wouldn't be me, Taj wouldn't be her if it wasn't for the adults in our village when we were kids. It's so important for that. So I mentor. I still have mentees from when they were 13. They're now 20, 21, 23. And I'm still active in their lives. From when they were there, maybe they might have lost their virginity at one point in their life. I was there. And then now they're in a point where they're like, Miss Tempest, I need to learn how to write a proposal. I'm there for that as well. Because for me, also mentorship is lifelong. Is getting in the thick of something with somebody and really doing life with them as a guidance, being there as a guidance, and it holds you accountable as well. Like my sister always talks about, putting in systems that hold you accountable. Being a mentor, actually, early on, while I was in grad school as a grad student, I became a mentor with the Talk to Me program of the As I Planted Seed, and that program and my mentees held me accountable a lot to be who I am today. Because they were the first people to hold me accountable. These little people, these young people, they hold you accountable to being that adult, to being an example. So they made me more aware of my actions and how I moved outside of programming time, because they were always watching and holding you accountable to being Miss Tempest. Always watching. They're the first people to watch my story, even now. And they're grown now. And they still watch. First people to watch my stories, they're still watching me, still holding me accountable. So if it wasn't for them, they were the first people to kind of keep me on that consciousness of, I don't get to move like everybody else because I'm somebody's mentor. I don't get to, I have little girls watching me as an example of what a woman is. I don't get to do anything, at least not in front of them. I don't. Not while they're watching. I don't. So it held me accountable to a certain thing. And then as I started to walk in accountability, that grows. You grow and you grow and you grow and you develop so many other things that hold you accountable. My career held me accountable next. And then now I have another thing added to holding me accountable to sink or sell. One thing about us as women, we celebrated being powerful this week with Taj, right? One thing about us, we're going to rise to the occasion. You put us in a space to sink or sell, we're going to sell every time. We're going to find a way to sell. And we're going to find a way to take all that we love, all who we love with us. So for me, every time I'm met with accountability, I love that challenge. Because just like I say all the time, I'm a girl from the hood that's misunderstood. Just like I used to, get in the street and fight with somebody. Now I say I get in the ring with the real enemy, myself. I get in the ring with the real enemy, myself, my insecurities or my doubt. I get in the ring with those things, and I use my energy to fight for those things. And those things be life, and them things got hands sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But for me, another accountability is good because it challenges you. I like challenge. Challenge to grow is good because we can never stop growing, educating ourselves. Education is from the womb to the tomb. Growing doesn't stop. It's a journey. And like I always tell, I'm always transparent. I'm not perfect even to this day, but I've grown so much and I've done so much intentional strategic work to be who I am today and to be able to lead women in the way that I do today, to lead children the way that I do today, constantly volunteer, in my community. I'm always showing up for a volunteer, give back, whatever it may be, and standing in the gap, whatever it may be. I still also um, coach a lot of women who have gotten their 501c3s and are building children programming for teens or above or younger kids. I coach them through a lot of their startup stuff, how to structure their programs, so program structural as well. And that's something that I do, no cost, anything for the kids. I'm there because it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than me or money for me. Um, if I see somebody with a vision and they didn't went as far as going to go through the paperwork to get a 501c3, that's somebody who cares. I'm standing in the gap with that person every time. Whatever resources I have, they have.
Yeah.
Whatever resources I have, they have. Whatever network I can connect them to, I do. So that's something else that I do is my many hats that I wear. But that is a part of my community work and giving back in that way. 501c3 people, I kind of like help them out with programming. I show up to speak, whatever it is they need. I'm donating hot dogs. I'm a cook, whatever we need to do. I buy the pizzas, whatever we need to do to make things happen for our youth. That's something that I'm doing. And even now at my job, they do a lot of initiative as far as the gun violence in our city.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times on my off days, I'm at work, in the streets, beating the pavement to be a part of the solution. I'm real big on service. Service is life. It's
Yeah.
lifelong. That's what we're supposed to do to
Yeah.
me. So that's not a question. Even if I wasn't
Yes.
doing Miss T Christine, you would see me somewhere at a program or, volunteering somewhere with the kids because it's our job to give it back. It's our job to give it back. We can't keep all of that to ourselves. Like I said, I wouldn't be half the woman I am without my village. So that's important to me.
Yes. Talk about it. The
Yeah.
power of the
Yeah.
village. You talked about accountability.
Oh, I
And I
love it.
think that, coming into this space of empowerment, I didn't heard so many people say fake empowerment, right? But I think
Yeah.
that integrity and that accountability, because our kids will hold us accountable. And you spoke of one thing of making a decision. I remember
Yeah.
being 18 years old and I had to make a decision.
Decision.
I had kids that were 2 years younger than me, but I had to
Right. You
make
got
a
to make a
decision.
decision.
Is
Yeah.
this my purpose? Or is this something that I'm just trying to get some money
Greenlit.
from?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that consciousness to say I'm empowered and I want to really make an impact. And everything that I do make an
Yeah.
impact. And like you said, that girl coming from North Philly, letting these young ladies know I come from the same street as you, but it
Yeah.
just takes a quick mindset shift and
Yeah.
a want and the need of serving the community, also shifting the narrative, because like you said, it has to be us in order to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
the impact in our community. So
Yep.
let's get into our Testimony
Yep.
Tuesday. Good evening, everybody that is
Yeah.
joining us. So Testimony
Yeah.
Tuesday is to talk about where you're at with tackling life today. So where are you at with tackling life today?
Um. So if I had to call a thing today, right? Um. Honestly, if I'm being honest, um, for me today, um, how I'm taking life right now is through gratefulness. Honestly, I've been being very intentional about being grateful and embracing the things around me that I already
Mm,
have. It's such a, it's easy. If I have to be honest, I'm a very blessed woman. So it's easy. And everything I touch, I kind of kill it, right? So it's easy to take that kind of thing for granted. The
mm,
small things. It's so easy to get caught up in that. and easy to have it all and be so blessed and still feel like there's something missing.
Yeah.
So being grateful, the fact that there isn't anything missing and I lack nothing. Love is all around me. The things that matter, love is all around me. I'm blessed in so many ways. So me trying to like really be intentional about embracing and seeing that, opening my eyes to seeing what I have around me and being grateful is something that I really, 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 really am embracing right now. And that's really how I'm tackling life, through gratefulness and grace, gracefulness as well. Being graceful with myself, because I feel like I'm a lot hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic. Um, a lot of times I'm very hard on myself about deadlines. I'm very hard on myself about the things that I get done, don't get done, or how I might behave if I'm not perfect this day, or if I'm not exactly what I thought was perfect for that day, or whatever the case may be. So dealing with my own self with grace, giving myself the same grace I would give someone else, learning to pour that back into myself and being grateful for what I have now. I'm big on, how can God bless you with more if you don't steward well over what you have already?
Mm.
And stewardship is something I have at the forefront of my brain right now, because I'm learning that you're blessed according to what you can manage. So I want to be able to manage what I have now and what's to come, because I need to be able to manage those things when it comes. I need to have the heart posture, the mindset for what is coming. And I need to keep myself in a certain space to maintain and manage well over what I've already been given. And the platforms and stuff that I already have, the exposure and things that I already had that are blessings,
Yeah.
doing well over those things. So just those are my things, now as far as that stewardship, gratefulness, and gracefulness is how I'm really tackling life right now, especially with the graceful piece, because I'm hard on me. So I'm just like, this, you're doing better than you think. So
Yeah.
trying to
And I
give
think
myself a little grace.
that's very much a gem. That last part of being grateful and are you able to manage what you
Mm,
have now?
mm,
Right? So many of us are ready to reach for more, but we're not realistic about where we're at right now.
yeah, yeah,
Right? Where are we at right now? What tools are we using to manage? How are we showing gratitude? How are we finding balance? Right? We're always trying to play this catch up game or, on to
yeah,
the next that we don't even embrace the moment,
yeah,
especially with, social media and phones. It's like that we live in a world of instant gratification.
yeah,
So sometimes we're always ready to obtain what's to come next, but really embracing this moment. So, with that being said, how does it feel as we are about to take flight to Minneapolis
yeah.
and having this opportunity? How does it feel?
Honestly, I didn't really start getting excited until like last week. And that happens for me normally. Normally, when I have something like that's a huge deal in my life, it may be hard for me to get excited about it, or to, if I'm honest, to get, in a space of, celebrating myself for this win.
Mm,
Especially because of me feeling like there's nobody for me to celebrate it with, right? Because I'm unmarried, so I'm being very vulnerable right now, right? I'm unmarried, so I accomplish a lot. I'm always accomplishing something. So I always feel like, well, I'm doing that. I knew I would, but there's nobody for me to turn to celebrate this with. And that's what checked me, because I'm just like, you have so many people in your life who love you, who are excited about this, who are cheering you on, and you are like almost throwing their cheers to the side because
yes.
it doesn't look, yes, it doesn't look like this guy or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, that is terrible of me. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get excited, and I'm going to learn to celebrate with those who celebrate with me, and love on me, and love those who love me back. So I'm in that space, and I'm getting excited about it. And I'm so, again, grateful as I ponder on this and as I reflect on it as it's coming up this week. And I'm preparing my message. I get excited. Um, I'm so excited and just overwhelmed with gratefulness, Ted. Gratefulness. Because I know that my name was written on that ticket in a divine way.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what makes me so much more overwhelmed with gratefulness because it could have been anybody. It was actually supposed to be somebody else. But when something is for you, it is
Yeah.
designed for you, no matter what the circumstance, it's yours. And then my life is also a living testimony of that as well. Like I said, I've always been counted out. I've always gotten in situations, circumstances, and positions, and you can also attest to this too. Positions people think we weren't supposed to be in, or the
Mhm.
world might say we ain't supposed to be in. But God says something different, and it's always ours because of that. It's always going to be ours because of that. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. Because I'm also so young. I look at it like, Timbers, you've only been in this game for about 2 years, right? I LLC'd in 2021, and I was able to do this within a year.
Mm.
Book a paid speaking engagement, all expenses. I was able to do that in 1 year. People have been trying to do what I do for years and have not yet to get to an established setting like that. I need to be grateful for that. That's
Yeah.
a blessing. So I'm overwhelmed thinking about all of those things because it could be anybody else, but I was chosen, and I'm humbled by that. Humbled by that and grateful for that. So grateful. I'm overwhelmed. That's all that can come to my mind is overwhelming gratefulness. And I'm so excited to go. And I'm, again, stewarding well because I'm just like, and I'm praying. I also fasted, up until this as well. I fasted over it because I'm just like, I don't even want to talk when I go. I just want God to speak through me. I don't want to talk. I don't want it to be me.
Mm.
I don't want it to be me. I want to surrender all that is me to leave what God wants in that room for those women in that state. He's taking us all the way to another state. That's a gift because it's not just here, and it's just a glimpse of the thing that what our lives are gonna look like going forward. This is the first of many. I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. And look at how good God is to give you just a glimpse
Yeah.
of the things He has for you if you stay obedient. Because I'm gonna also be a little bit more transparent. After my second annual Little Black Dress, which is my empowerment um, annual event, I was completely emptied. I
Mm.
didn't have any motivation. I didn't want to. I didn't want to do this. I just like I'm not doing it. I ain't making no moves. I don't feel like it. Um, I just didn't feel like it, and I'm not. So in feeling like that though, I mean, all throughout my Little Black Dress, I'm planning it, but I didn't really want to do it. I didn't have the energy to create. I didn't have the energy all the way up until the day of my own event. Then afterwards, I'm like, oh, that's done. I'm falling back. And then about 2 weeks later, and I hadn't posted anything on my page. I hadn't done any content for 2 whole weeks.
Mm.
Silent. Silent. This is how I know that what God has for you, it is for you, because that's when I got the DM and a message from Sam about this opportunity. And I couldn't do anything except think about the obedience in the season, because from my Little Black Dress on, this is from summer to about up until, what was that, late April or so. It was all of those months of feeling unmotivated and having to
Mm.
really push myself. And just when I thought I was going to fall back, I'm quitting, I don't feel like it right now, not doing it. But because I kept being obedient, though, I didn't want to do Little Black Dress. But again, like I said, I did that because God told me to. I did what I had to do. It was on my heart, and I knew I had to do it, and I had to get it done. But I didn't want to. This is a testimony to obedience and how it really do move, and it creates miracles. Just living a lifestyle of obedience, because obedience is not about what you feel like doing. It's really not. It's not about what you feel like doing, because feelings change. Feelings are fickle, up, down. We are people. That's what we do. We're human beings. But when you're purpose stretches you. I say it all the time. It stretches you, and it's going to cause you to have to be more disciplined. It's going to cause you to have to get motivated when you're not motivated. It's going to cause you to have to still push through when you do not want to do it. Because your purpose is tied to somebody else's destiny. Somebody needs you to get to that room, get to that space, get on that call, get on the live. You don't feel like it, but somebody needs you to do that. Somebody needs you to do that. So you got to be obedient. I was obedient in that season of feeling unmotivated. And I got a paid speaking engagement, all expenses paid, after a year of being in business. If people can't see God in it, I don't know what else to tell them, because that is a testimony to obedience. I didn't feel like it, and I hadn't posted nothing. I wasn't trying to get no attention. My name was already written on it. And sometimes God has to do that, has to show you what He's doing in your life, and tap you and say, "You got to get up. Playtime is over for that." And I'm just like, all right, I got to get myself together. I got to find the motivation. Again, this is something else to make me accountable. Something else now that has to make me accountable. I got to get motivated because I'm booked. So I got to get motivated. I didn't just a contract to it or agree to it. This is a booking. Now I got to get it together. So now I'm like, yeah, you got to do something. You got to do something. You got to figure it out, how to get motivated, how to stay motivated. Create something organic for that audience who's coming to see you. Somebody who believed in you. To put you on the ticket, you got to step up. Those moments of accountability. And I don't know about everybody else, but I know for me, with my walk, right, with God, God always does that to me. It's like I always have something to hold me accountable that's going to push me to keep going. It has to, and accountability is like a lifestyle for me. I always tell my clients, anybody that I work with, you got to be self-accountable to whatever it is that you want to do. Nothing in life worth having is a cakewalk, and you're going to have to get in the thick of some things you do not want. Yeah, that's the bulk of it. Is doing some things that you don't want to do, doing what you have to do in order to do what you want to do is a discipline. And discipline is lifelong. You got to keep doing it. You have to keep disciplining yourself. Grow to different levels of discipline. It is a journey. And you're going to have days where you want to quit. You got to find a motivation. You have to, and that's why villages are so important too. Having women. I'm so grateful that I have support around me that remind me of who I am, remind me of who I serve when I don't, when I'm just like, and I'm letting anything cloud my judgment, no matter what it is. They remind me of who I am and bring me back. That's so important to have. Because as we are people who give and people who pour, we have to have people who can pour into us. I call that alignment. People who are aligned with us. And then we have the people we just give to. They're our assignment. I had to learn that the hard way. But that would be a whole nother live of learning who's an alignment, who's an assignment. That comes with, again, growing, learning, being able to move a little bit more cautious, something I never did as well. So that's like I said, I learn. I'm a lifelong learner, and I'm a lifelong grower. I do that. Growth is a lifestyle for me. And as I do this and learn how to do it, that's how I can say that to other women, this is something that you can do. You have to want it bad enough, because I had to want to be who I am today enough to surrender to who I was and let that go. I had to surrender who I was. And I didn't want to always. I loved being the girl who said what I want, did what I want, and didn't care. I don't care. I'm still halfway like that. I have to catch myself all the time, because it's like, sometimes you can't be this way because you are purpose. You don't get to move any kind of way. You don't get to do that. You got to get that together. You got to start forgiving. I don't have to hold myself accountable. Because my whole life is a testimony to, you can do this, you can grow. Because if I've transformed the way that I have, it's possible for people to transform themselves, but they have to truly want that thing in order to let some stuff die. You have to die to yourself to become the best part of yourself. And it's a constant dying to self. Self is our biggest enemy. We have to get in the ring within. That's why I'm just like, I ain't got time to fight nobody. I'm fighting myself all the time. That's the biggest fight of your life. It's the fight of yourself
Yeah.
all the time.
I love
I
it.
want to know for your
And
time. Oh.
no, girl. We got 30 minutes still left. You are listen.
Oh.
I love that you just let it flow, and it's so crazy how you talked about that moment in the little black dress. So for me, which connects to how you got the opportunity, was the Unstuck series. I created the Unstuck series because I knew I was going to need that moment, but I didn't know I was going to need that moment like I needed
When
that
you
moment.
need it, yes.
And you talked about that village. Like, even though I was hosting, y'all came and filled that space for me because
Space.
I think every month I was like, okay, I don't got nothing, but
I
I
don't
had
feel
a
like
team
it.
of people that was able to pour into that space. And being able to put other women on the platform for this opportunity to be able to present itself. But there were so many days when I just wanted to give up. Like, I was just tired,
Yeah.
and I felt like I wasn't giving myself what I wanted out of this space.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I for me, my 3 years in, because I this is technically 3 years in from me starting Sisters
Yes.
with the Agenda. I don't even know when the start date is. I always say January, but really we started around September, August. Um, and
You've
it
been
was
consistent, sis.
and it was me just looking for a village of people to hold me accountable, right?
Yes.
I have the tools, but did I always use the tools, right? Because I
Oh,
was that
girl.
person. I'm me. I'm going to do what I'm going to
Do what
do.
I want to do.
The doors were opening, but there was always something that felt unsatisfying in me. And I'm like, why do I feel so unsatisfying? But every goal that I said I was going to
Want
accomplish,
to
baby
do.
girl was
Yes.
reaching them.
Yes.
Um, and even this opportunity, it came in a space where I felt defeated. And, personally, for my platform, everything is on social media. Like, of course, I want to create events, but I know that's not me. So to have somebody call me and say, Tadja, we're creating this space and I want you to open, I'm like, wait, what? It's all paid, all expenses paid. I was like, what? Me?
Yes.
You want me? So I think just that walking in God's purpose. You always say we're purpose women. Not
Purpose.
women with purpose, but purpose women. And
Yeah.
when you're a purpose woman, these things come because it's a part of who you are and what God
Yes.
has put into you.
Yes.
As a Muslim, we call it dowry. And you
Mm.
give dowry. You teach people the religion. You give that empowerment. You give that word, and that's who you are naturally. Like, just in a regular conversation, that
Yeah.
speaks through you and it speaks life to you. And congratulations on this 1 year and being able, like you
Yeah.
said, for us to create these opportunities. It's so crazy in our little circle. We always say we taking flights. So I thank Sam for creating the opportunity, and then watching your video today talking about the girl from North Philly. They don't know what North Philly. They may not know what North Philly is, but for us to be in a room, where our voices can be heard, coming from
Mm.
places that we come from,
Yeah.
thinking that we were only maybe going to impact the people in our
Around us.
around us, right? We were
Yep.
only going to impact the Philadelphia
Yeah.
community. And then I just think about, the tragedy and the loss that happened in Minneapolis with
Yeah.
George Floyd. So,
Yeah.
I just think like how impactful to go to that city of
I
all cities,
know.
to go to that state of all states, to be in that space, to be able to
Mm-hmm.
touch women and talk about how powerful it is. And you talked about, even us practicing, we've been practicing for months, but even us in our practicing and preparing, I actually said this to Sam today. I have been in this space of gratitude and I've just been crying for months.
Okay.
I just been crying for months because I'm just grateful how God
Grateful.
continues to
Yeah.
use me, and some of these things I didn't think were coming, but God continues to open another door and another door and another door and say, this is how I'm going to use you. And that's the thing about purpose. Sometimes you think you understand what your purpose is, but
Right.
God got other things aligned for
Mm-hmm.
you, right? You
Mm-hmm.
think it's only one path for you, but there's so many different lanes that you could take your purpose. So I'm so grateful for that, because I never thought that this would be the journey that I would be walking on, in the places and spaces that I would be able to be in.
Yeah.
So you talked about that, just what's in you, and what in you comes out of you, and people being able to just be able to be graced by you. But the topic of I am powerful, you talked about how you don't even want it to come from you, and all that you prepare,
Yeah.
right? I said that to Sam today. I'm like, you know what? I can't just let it go, so that when I hit that stage, I can just be me. I know what my
Yeah.
message is, because my message is in me, and
Yes.
what we're speaking about is part of our journey. So through that, I know that for me, that I am powerful affirmation has kind of shifted my mindset, and just some of my awareness. How has
Yeah.
that affirmation been sitting with you over this last couple of months?
I have honestly been owning that I am powerful. Um, I really have been owning the words. Like you said, I've been affirming it. I am powerful. It's actually something that I say to myself as I have like daily affirmations. That I have power. I walk in my power. I speak something that I say. I speak from my power and not my pain.
Mm.
And I tell people all the time, speak from your power, not your pain. People get upset. I'm like, oh, this person said this person. I'm about to get mad. I'm about to cuss this girl out. I'm about to do this and that. I'm like, speak from your power, not your pain. All the time, speak from your power. Because that's the sound part of you. It's the wisest part of you. It's powerful.
Mm.
Because you may not say that much, but you say a lot. And we always want to be impactful that way. So when I say it to myself, I feel that. I feel impactful. um Purpose, again, it reminds me of who I am. I am powerful. I have power. I walk in my power. So many things surrounding it. So since, like you said, because it's something that we have to wrap our head around, because that's the
Yeah.
theme of the conference. So you're saying it to yourself, right? You're practicing, like, okay, I'm speaking it. I am powerful. So, and it also makes us as the speakers accountable to having just that, a powerful message,
Mm.
and leaving power in the room. Because I plan to empty power in this room, like I never have. Like I normally, for speaking engagements, I go in every room and I give it all to them anyway. It's really my gift.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I gotta be extremely strategic about leaving this in the room, because I am powerful. I
Mm.
said, not only am I perfect for this, but I really gotta really bring it heavy, because it embodies who I am. Because I walk in that posture, and
Mm.
being able to be reminded of it kind of keeps me, once again, accountable to doing this, because I'm just like, what does it mean each day as I take it apart? What does it mean for me today? What does it mean for me today to walk in my power?
Mm.
What does it mean for me today to walk in my power? Because this day, walking in my power could be simply making sure that I do my 15-minute reading today. I need to do that. I need to make sure that I do my 15-minute reflection, 15-minute journaling. Today, I walk in my power today. Today, walking in my power could look like I'm silent today.
Mm.
I'm taking it in. Today, I'm listening. I'm being more of an active listener today. Listen to what's around you. Be inspired by what's around you. And a daily thing that I do is finding someone to love. Every day I find somebody random to love, do something special for, send something special to, whatever. It's a practice. I'm powerful because I'm
Mm.
able to shift the mindset of at least one person today. What does it mean each day? So that's been something that I've been doing for me. Powerful has been, I've been taking it apart because there's so many things. But for me, I think overall it means to be impactful, to be purposeful,
Yeah.
um, especially more so powerful despite of, like
Mm.
in spite of feeling unmotivated, we're here,
Yeah.
in spite of the things that we've been going through, the things that come up against us, because life be life. And then, like you said, with you, it's different because your platform is all social media, all resource based, and you have to be very present. So the fact that you have been this consistent, and like I always say, she always is all hits, no misses. You're very consistent, and we can count on your platform. We can count on your platform to be here as a resource for us, as a lifter. People know that they can come to this space, to this page, to get a lift of something positive if they need it. And they can do it discreetly. So that's even better, because no one will know if they were on the page or not. People may not know. That's always a good thing. So that's why I was just like, oh, I love that, for you're just like, you pushed because you needed to push, because it's people counting on your Testimony Tuesday. It's people counting on those types of things, because our platforms do that for us. I have people asking me about Little Black Dress 3. And I still, even though I'm getting my mind wrapped around it, I'm getting my mind wrapped around it. I'm actually more motivated towards it now than I was with Little Black Dress 2. Again, this is stuff that people are looking for. People ask me like, well, you do personal coaching? It's coming. Do you do groups? It's coming. Do you do these things? But it holds me accountable to making sure it gets done. It holds me accountable to making sure these things get done, making sure my website gets done, making sure I get this done, making sure I get that done. It holds me accountable. Our purpose is always going to do that, though. God is so intentional, because these little things he throw at us is because he know you need those taps. You needed those taps. Taz, you needed to know your gift goes beyond Philadelphia. What you do goes beyond just this platform right here, but it's going to go in rooms.
Yeah.
These are the things that we got to know so we can keep going, because this stuff come natural to us. It's our natural gift. It's just what we do. We're going to do it regardless. This is our lifestyle. But it's also tied to somebody's whole destiny. It's purpose. It's not just because. We're not the way we are just because. You have the mindset to be a resource builder. That's not for nothing. It's light for you. That's normal for you. That's just you being you. You show up to find a resource to help the people. That's what you do. That's who you are. But for somebody else, that is such a gift. It's such a blessing, and they really need it. They really need what's inside of us. It's inside of us, that power. And we encourage and empower people to find that thing that's inside of them. Because I'm big. I push. You have to find the thing inside of you, not just breathing for nothing. You're not the way you are for no reason. Everything about you is purpose. You got to find it, because life is really not worth living without purpose. It isn't. Yeah. Because even though I get tired and I have my days, when I think about it all over again, I probably would still choose purpose. I would still choose to work on me. I would still choose Miss T. Christine. I would still chosen to take all my losses and, being looked over and all of those things and turn it into me, the best part of me. I make no apologies for changing who I was, developing and becoming someone totally different. Make no apologies about the transformation that I continually walk in transformation. It's important because, again, I have eyes on me that I don't even know about. Somebody is always watching, and you never know what my growth can do for the next woman. Yeah, I want that, and I'm always honored, humbled. So many women, I always say, it doesn't matter how many times it has happened. I'm always honored, so humble, so grateful when somebody trusts me to guide them. Somebody trusts me and trusts my walk and how I've transformed. They ask me how I do this or what book I've read. Whatever it may be, I'm always grateful for it. Yeah. Because I know that something in me kicked something in them, woke something up. And I can't wait to see my sister evolve. That's the best thing in the world for me. I love to see it. So that's my whole life. So I was like, oh, I love that. And because I know what it does. When you transform, it's such a freeing feeling. Not fun, but freeing. And then after seriously, it ain't fun, but it's freeing. And once you get to a certain level where certain stuff can't touch you anymore, affect you the same way anymore, you feel much better. You live differently. Your vibration is so much higher. And that peace, that's the real flex. Having a peace in things is the real big flex. That's a life goal. It's peace in all places of our lives, trying to have that peace and balance in all parts of our lives. Building what success looks like for us. what love looks like for us and all of those things. That's the stuff that I do under my paper. What does it look like for you,
Yeah.
sis? And how do we give you some tangible steps and systems to get to that space? Let's build it out. Let's pull it out. Let's dump the puzzle out and put it together. Together.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to do it together. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to kick your butt, too. I always say I'm going to kick you in the butt. But that's for love. Know that it's all love. Always challenge me. We can always fight it out. Sisters fight. But it's always love. Because I want to see you win. I want to see you grow. I want to see you get to that goal. So I can be like, didn't I tell you you was going to make it? Because I always believe. That's what sisters are supposed to do. We believe and we see. When our sister can't see, we got to remind her it's going to happen. I still see it for you.
Yeah.
I still see it for you.
You talked about that alignment and that transformation. And it's so crazy because I think the alignment, when we talked about this, a light of our testimonies and our speeches that we're going to talk about, right? And you talked about just that transformation and that space of releasing and reflecting and being a part of that power that we have. And a big part of my testimony is that, Testimony Tuesday, I realized, not even knowing the power that it gives, and why I keep showing up and why I would like to be present when I show up is because, people, because it's not just for women, people have came on here and they have shared their testimony and they have really released and they was able to reflect and they were able to celebrate. And when you stand in your truth and you can tell your story, and you talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? You talked about how it's not always going to look good or feel good, but it's power behind it, right? That pain, don't choose the pain, choose the power. That is powerful, right? So just being able to be in a space to give women power, right? Because anybody can tap in on your live. But so many people have reached out to me and said, I'm ready, right? Nervous and all. I'm ready to share my testimony. I'm ready to release. I'm ready to reflect and I'm ready to celebrate. So you have a birthday actually coming up next Monday. So talking about like your testimony and the girl from North Philly and being the one to empower other women that come from where you come from. What are some celebrations that has been through the journey in your many years as you transition through this birthday? Because I think this alignment is just perfect, right? To have this moment, to celebrate this 1 year, celebrate this opportunity, and then to go into another birthday. And I know you said like birthdays are hard for you, right? But in that space of gratitude, if you had to like really sit and write a list, like what are some of the 5 big things, looking back on your life from a little girl to now, that you can celebrate and say, I did this and I took back my power?
Oh, um, uh, I would have to say the first would be getting my undergrad degree, because when I did, Cheney was the first place. That's my undergrad. That's my alma mater. I I was a freshman. Again, I'm from Hunter Park. I'm up there, but that's still in me, right? So I go up there, and I'm still me. I'm so Philly. And I had my band professor. I will never forget these words because it changed my life. And it was the first time I took steps towards transformation, for real big steps, because I went up there with a goal. And again, like I said, anything that hold me accountable, I ain't gonna lose. I look at it like an opponent. So I'm like, I'm gonna get my degree. I'm coming home with it. So I'm a freshman. I'm rough. I'm tough with my apple puff. So one day he says, to me, the street way won't work in the world. He said that to me when I was 18. He said, the street way won't work in the world. And for some reason, it sprang out to me. And I remember thinking about it. And it was then that I took on the mindset, you know what? These are the goals that you have. I said it to myself. I said, oh, I want to make 6 figures. And then I was like, well, the people who make 6 figures don't act like I do. So I had to hold myself accountable to my behavior. He made me think of that by saying the street way won't work in the world because it's easy to gain respect on the block. You know, beat a couple people up, you got respect. You know, you do a few things, you got respect. It's easy because you're dealing with that impoverished mindset, environment, and so many things. It's such a large environmental economic thing. But in the world, that's a different game. That's a chessboard. You play chess in the world, not checkers. And you got to be a big dog. You got to be smart, strategic, so many things. And if you ask anybody if they any of those things, they be like, yeah, I am. Right? But living it is a totally different thing. So I started my transformation then at 18, like, okay, I can't respond and react the way I always do. Because I was never a troublemaker, but I was a finisher. I want to finish it. You start with me. Now I think that I'm entitled to finish it. Because on the block, that's what happened. You know, I had to finish it. That's the only way. It was my only way. I had a narrow-minded, one-trick pony mindset that you have when you come from impoverished areas. Because there is only mostly one way to handle things, or you only see people handling things in a narrow way.
Yep.
So that challenged me. And then things start happening to me to challenge that left and right. But I'm in college. I came to get something. I can't act how I was acting on the block. So much stuff challenged me in college. And I did get in trouble in college, but not the way that I would have. But I transformed so much because I knew it was then that I started to understand that my reactions had to change. I couldn't always be impulsive. I can't always put my hands on somebody. I can't always cuss somebody out. Can't always do that. That can't be. I have to find new responses now. I have to find smarter responses now. So that challenged me to do so. Challenged me to get my vernacular together. Because there's still ways to cuss somebody out. You know, I ain't got to change too much. I can still do me, but I do me a little bit better. I do me a little bit better at a higher vibration. There's so many things to deal with grace. Now I can deal with things and respond in grace and love, but I had to grow to that space because I wasn't that way. But I started then, and that was a major moment for me at 18 because of that, you know, me shifting that mindset that my reactions could change. Like I said, everything, once I changed my mind, everything challenged me because here I am, you know, I'm in college. I got bullied in college. You know, this is big age school. Why am I getting bullied? I never got bullied back home. Because it don't stop. But it's like back home, this was a challenge because back home, nobody didn't even bully me. I already had a reputation. I would put my hands on you. But up there, I could put my hands on you, but then I'm going to be in trouble or suspended. And now I lost my goal. I'm like, ugh. And it challenges you because you get frustrated when you don't know nothing else and you itching to do what you normally do.
Yeah.
It is a thing. And even more so, you grow the workplace. My next goal, my next thing on my thing would be the workplace was my next transformation. Fresh out of grad school. Now I got my master's. I'm fresh out of grad school. I landed a job in my field because I've been stayed in my field. And I got fired from the highest paying job I could have at the time. I'm making $30 an hour. I'm 26 years old. I got fired from that job. Why? Because I cussed one of the nurses out. Why? And as I reflected and I took accountability of that, I'm like, I gotta really, really learn because the world is going to have more of that. I have to learn how to ignore some stuff. I'm going to have real strong ignore game because something I tell my mentees is when I was telling them that when they was teenagers, and because of that circumstance, I could tell them, I was like, nothing challenges you more than the workplace. So work on your responses now because the workplace ain't no joke, especially for girls from the hood who misunderstood like me. We have one way. We got one way to handle some things, baby. One way. Handle it like that. And we have street codes. There's an honor to it. We shake hands afterwards. It's over. You win, I win, whatever. It's simple. Simple-minded. But in the real world, it don't work like that. You have to be so much more strategic. And the workplace really challenges you because you're dealing with people may not come from your background, may not deal with stuff your way, and your way is weird in there. Your way
Mm-hmm.
is the strange way in there. And you have to figure out how you're going to sink or sail.
Yeah.
I learned from that moment. Now, I'm the most professional, most polished person in the room. But I had to learn. I had to learn by losing one of my highest paying jobs.
Mm.
I end up gaining and getting back, but I had to go through a journey of really self-reflecting and taking accountability for the fact that I was wrong. All I had to do, yeah, she was talking about me or whatever the case may be, and she was in my earshot. So in the hood, that's disrespectful. You think you can talk about me in front of my face, right in my face? So it's like right up in my face like that. So I'm just like, oh man. Now I would act like I don't hear you so bad. I would act like I don't hear you so bad. And even to this day, if I'm honest, I still at times had to check my heart posture for some of that stuff. Because even though I may not respond the way I used to, I got that part together. Growth is still a thing. It's ongoing because even women who respond a certain way or act that way trigger me. They trigger that part of me. So being conscious of that, that happened to me today at work. I'm in a group setting and, a young lady is like, oh, he and ha, I don't understand what's funny. What's so funny? I don't know why y'all laughing. Now, me back in my early 20s would be like, I'm laughing. He, because I dare you. I dare you. But today I was very good. I was just like, but it's still, it was triggering something in me. I'm just like, that means I got to still work because that shouldn't even make me feel like I want to be like admitted. Right. Because who you threatening, who you playing with? I still got to get that together because that's something I cannot, people are going to do that. Especially in the spaces that you go in. Purpose ain't all peace. People think that too. That everything I do, empowerment and all of the good things. Yes, I do good. I have a good brand, right? But we live in a world where everybody is just not good. And it don't matter how much good you do for some people, they want to find something wrong with you, something wrong with what you're doing, or whatever the case may be. Either way, my biggest thing is to still meet that with love because one thing I know, when you know better, this is something that I've learned as I've grown. When you know better, you can do better. And almost 90% majority of how people act and how people treat you has nothing to do with you. Yeah. That was a game changer for me because then I stopped taking stuff so personal. I don't own it. You want to get smart with me and I know I ain't did nothing to you but smile at you, then fine. You can have it. That's fine because I know that don't have nothing to do with me. That really changed my life a lot because I went from being that firecracker to being able to tap into a more sound piece of me. When you're sound, you're a little bit more wiser because you're not impulsive. So I grew after that moment of impulse. When I lost my job, I grew. I'm changing my impulses. I'm working on that. I had to take accountability for that. In all these spaces, I had to take accountability. So I celebrate that stuff today because I'm just like, I am a whole new person. I'm a whole new person. Or like when people like my brother Ryan, they'll see me in a circumstance. Another moment, I was with my mentees. I'm with my Girls for Girls weekend. And that's why I say your village is so important too, because he's one of the people who holds me accountable to being my best self. So with my girls, we're out to eat somewhere, and a woman comes in. They're teenagers, so they're little girls, and they're in the way, like in the door, hanging out. We waiting to be seated. Right. Somebody comes in and push past my girls, like move, like she act like she was going to push. This is like my daughters, so I'm on like girl, and I handled that with grace. I was. Nice. I'm just like, all right, y'all. I was like, girls, come on. We're going to wait. Y'all come with me. We go outside. We get out the doorway or whatever. But then I'm telling Ryan about it on the back end. And he like, goodness, I am so proud. It was like, you really changed. He was like, you really changed because that's something that he's like, in another time and place, you would have been calling me talking about I'm at the precinct. That's the precinct. I got them. But, you didn't respond that way. That confirmed for me that what I was doing to be intentional about my impulses worked. So that's a moment I hold near to me, like, okay, I can do this. I can easily ignore because now I know my power and I'm not as scared. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can handle this. When people act a certain way, I can handle that. I can handle it like a lady. I can be poised. I can do this now. You feel more confident in it because sometimes as we're doing things like intentionally to change, we don't think it's working. But you gotta have the challenge to happen to let you know if it's working or not a lot of times. Um, is it in here still? Is it in here still? Is it in here still? Because that's how you know you still gotta work. If it's still on that mind piece, if it's still in that heart, I still gotta work on forgiveness. Why? Because I'm thinking that I forgave because I'm not angry. But that's not really what full forgiveness looks like. I'm halfway forgiving. So I'm just like, all right, I need to work on it. I want to work on it. And so I'm trying to be strategic about it and do what I normally do because I have routines for growth. So that's something I'm adding into the pot. But there was a moment for me, and now I can celebrate the fact that I don't have those same impulses I used to have, and I'm able to go into spaces and deal with the worst of them. Because it also has aided me in being, having a 93% success rate in therapy with people who are in drug addiction. They have everything from schizophrenia to bipolar, whatever the case may be, where they have all kinds of stuff going on, DHS involvement, whatever you name it. I've had those kinds of clients. Some of the roughest clients you can think of, but I'm able to make progress with them because I was able to grow. So that's something that I celebrate a lot is because I was like, oh my God, the things that I had to change on the inside of me to be able to help someone through some of the darkest moments of their life, plus some of the worst mental and physical issues that they have going on top of their life, just life thing.
Yeah.
That is a celebration for me. So I always think about that when I'm in certain spaces. That's a thing I can go back to. Like you did that. You accomplished that. Regardless of what people might say or whatever the case may be, your clients go on to do well, to grow, to live differently, and they consistently stay that way. That's a good thing. I don't have people turning back around to the old things of old, but I'm a living example for them, and I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. And then this birthday, like you said, I'm celebrating. I'm so happy. This is probably the happiest I've been for a birthday in a while because I'm going to backtrack to my 30th birthday. I'll be 32 because that's another moment in my life. Actually, my 30th birthday was when I birthed Miss T. Christine, the Empowerment Brand. Something tragic happened in my life. I offended someone who looked up to me, and she never forgave me for it. And as I now again, I told you all how I used to be. I do what I want, say what I want. I don't care how you feel about it. I never really feel bad about anything that I've done or said. I kind of stand on my stuff. But this particular situation, I was completely wrong. And it was nothing I could do to fix it because her choice was to refrain from or restrict from forgiving me. And it caused me to reflect. And as I was looking over my own stuff and I'm trying to take accountability for this because I'm going back and forth with it and I'm doing all of these different things. But as I was thinking about it, I came to this yet another epiphany, and that's why I live like I do right now. Because it let me know, because it wasn't what I did, it was who I am that bothered her most. It's not so much what I did, because people do this all the time, but because of who I am. I don't get to act like that. And it caused me to deeply think, because I'm like, why every time I do something, it's just the end of the world when I do it. And everybody else can do it. I'm sounding like a kid at this point. Everybody else can do it. But then I thought about that. You're right. Saying that to myself, like, you're right. Yeah. Everybody else can do that. But look at you doing some everybody else shit. Excuse my French. Look at you doing that. You don't get to do both. You cannot do both. That's the thing about purpose. You have to choose. You cannot do both. You can't have one foot in and one foot out.
Yeah.
And that moment birthed my brand. Because from then on, I charged myself. I never want to hurt another person like that again. I never want to offend another person because I stepped outside of my assignment and who I'm called to be. So and that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from when it comes to personal development. And that's why I said I'm working on tackling life through gracefulness, because I beat myself down with personal development because I never want to hurt another person because I stepped outside of who I'm called to be. I have to die to myself. That I learned from that moment. And I celebrate today, that now I have this brand that touches so many people and I'm so inspiring. I hear that all the time. But it came from me hurting somebody who I inspired. Oh. So that was a thing for me. So yeah, back to this birthday at 32, I'm finally happy. Thank you. I'm finally happy because, one, I get to give my gift for my birthday. So that's amazing. Because the one thing I love more than anything is to go into a room and set it on fire and pour into women and see them transform, see the fire spark in them. And just them leaving my presence, knowing that somebody hears their prayers. That, for me, being a vessel for that, is everything. So I'm so excited about this birthday because of that. And this birthday, I'm just surrounded by such love. This year, I decided to let my girlfriends, one of my good girlfriends, go ahead and plan my birthday dinner. I said, I don't even want to be bothered with it. I said, because the birthdays are emotional for me. So she's like, do you mind letting me, or passing the baton to me? I said, go right ahead. Yeah. The only thing I'm just like, all right, I'm just looking cute. I'm gonna be a Barbie for my birthday. And I'm excited. And I'm just, because of the love they surround me with, when I say pray over me, pray with me, we just do life together differently. I'm so grateful for the level of sisterhood that I have around me right now because, one, it's aligned with who I am. And it took me so long to find friendship that aligns with me because I've always been the person who pours into, but never really could pass. The people around me never really had the capacity to give me that. So it's good that I pray to have alignment like that around me because when I say I'm so safe, I'm accepted, I'm able to be myself, and I'm so, again, grateful to have that. And that's something that I'm celebrating, is that I'm turning this birthday. I was able to give my gift, and I'm surrounded by love that accepts me, makes me feel safe. And these are the things that are near and dearest to my heart in my life, is to be accepted. Because as strong as I show up, that's one of the things I'm so sensitive about. But because I've always been very bold, super transparent, super confident, people have hated me and treated me so mean in ways and not accepted me because of it. Yeah. I've been treated so bad because of just who I am. And told that I wasn't right or I wasn't good because of it. So to have people who accept and love me totally for who I'm purposed to be, that is a blessing that is beyond measure that I'm so grateful for. So that's something that I'm celebrating. That's why I'm actually happy for this birthday, just to celebrate with people who love me and embrace that, and be able to give my gift and be obedient to my assignment with my purpose. That's all a girl can ask for. Like, I'm happy this birthday. I don't want to cry because I'm actually a crybaby, y'all, too.
Well, I just want to say that you are special. Like, to hear your 5 things that you're celebrating for your birthday. You didn't say the bachelor degree. You didn't say the master's degree, right? You didn't say the top paying job, right? It was the things that shifted you more and more into your greatness. That mindset alone within itself, speaks volume to who you are. And what God has in store for you. And just listening to your gratefuls, I just think about how, God gives his toughest soldiers the toughest tests, right? And you keep talking about the challenges and talking about the tests, right? God has to keep testing you to keep you sharp, to keep you sharp, right? And to keep you sharp for what's coming next. And you passed all those tests. Like, you passed all those tests. You didn't just let it wander away. You didn't just say, I'm going to continue to just stick in this moment. You took every moment as a moment. to level up, right? And I
Yeah.
think that even, reflecting on me, that confidence, right? That self-awareness, right? And how the world didn't see us, but we had to go through those things. Like I said, our story made you who you are, and it made your purpose your purpose. So I'm so grateful to be able to sit aside from you, to stand on the stage with you,
Same.
to continue to connect with you, to help you celebrate this birthday. I'm just so grateful for the alignment that God has,
Me too.
because this is an amazing opportunity. So for all those that are just joining me and Miss T. Christine, the Empowerment Queen, we will be taking flight this Friday to Minneapolis to join Sam Knight, one of our good sisters here, assist us with the Agenda Village through Breakthrough Wellness. She is cultivating a space because she is also dropping her book, I Am Powerful, as she continues to step in her truth and tell her story. So I'm grateful for her cultivating this space for us and allowing us to grace the stage with her to come and speak with those women in that space and in that atmosphere. So I'm just so grateful for tonight, just to get to learn more about you before we step into this space. Because again, when we tell our testimony, we are here to reflect, we are here to release, and we are here to celebrate. So we celebrate you tonight, right? Because you deserve to be celebrated. There is so many women that you speak life into, in your presence, in your gratefulness. And I pray that that girl, in due time, her heart heals and it comes back full circle, because those are the babies that keep us going. But like you said, something beautiful was able to birth from that. So know that God has something in store for you when it comes to that relationship. But I commend you for continue to take them steps, because it is so easy to say I am who I am, and it's so much harder to shift from that place, especially like you said, when we see what's around us and feeling like we gotta defend ourselves or our back is against the wall. But there is so many opportunities out there when you're able to shift your mindset and you're able to take that growth and you're able to be that lifelong learner, and be able to keep yourself open to what's to come next. So I thank you and I appreciate you, and I can't wait for Friday. So y'all better stay tuned for the content, okay? Because this is going to be a powerful weekend. I am so grateful for all of those women that joined in the I Am Powerful Challenge. Continue to affirm yourself. Continue to stand in your power, sit in your power. Continue to tell your story. And if you have a testimony, again, this space is for all people of color, men, women, youth. This is your space to come and share amongst the village and allow us to celebrate you and allow yourself to release, reflect, and heal amongst the village here at Sisters with the Agenda. So tomorrow we will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for a We See You Wednesday Spotlight as we celebrate the personal and professional development of our sister Tawanda. So y'all all come join us. Share this out to somebody who can benefit, because this is the Empowerment Queen. She stays with a lot of jewels and a lot of gems. From the first moment she got on, okay, she is going to speak to you, and speak through you. And that's the beauty of us telling our story and telling our testimony. There is always something that you can learn and grow from. So continue to share, continue to empower, and continue to just be a light in your community. I'm so grateful for God keeping us connected, and there's just so many more things to come. So have a great night, everybody, and make sure you share this out. All right, see you, sis. Have a great night, everybody.
Love y'all.